Welcome back to the Gaming Pulpit, and this is your presenter. I wanted to actually talk about, TGS, the Tokyo Game Show, and to be honest with you, super disappointed in it. I really am. It's over at the moment. So I guess they're gonna have like a little stragglers there, with some other stuff that that they're planning on doing. Releasing to the public, whatever is left. But the big names are supposedly Death Stranding. You got the typical Shikiro. I don't know what the fucking ninja game. I don't even know what it is. I'm so disinterested in that game. The Firm Software ninja game. And I'll tell you about that in a second. So there was that one. I think Resident Evil was shown. The fuck else was shown? To be honest with you, I don't know. Like, this was pretty bad. I think Dead or Alive was also shown as well. So they did show that. I mean, just overall, I was just really. Usually, Tokyo Game Show is very much like the E3 of Japan, and just the state of Japan and what they're doing. It's just not up to snuff, you know what I mean? Shenmue should have been shown, I feel like, but they didn't show that. It was very, it was just very, this whole So let's start off by talking about Death Stranding and what they did show there. While I do appreciate its presence at Tokyo Game Show, I don't know if they showed this. There's people talking about that shit too. They were saying that the game was probably shown too early. It's at this point now, and I don't want to kind of repeat what everybody else has been saying. People want to definitely see gameplay, so I feel like that is definitely something that Kojima needs to provide. And I mean, like, real gameplay. So he shows like another enemy type, which is like some sort of cat with a mask. It just all looks very Japanese-esque, and I don't think that's the new hotness anyway, the whole Japanese type of flair anymore. I liked it when it was a little bit more grounded in like sci-fi and not anime. I know I sound like a downer, I do, but like I'm just expressing how I feel about this shit. I am definitely going to get it. I know Kojima, he has his quirks with the way that he presents games and stuff like that. It's like, whatever. But honestly, that's how I felt about it. Wasn't really happy about that. But it was nice to see like the presentation. I think I really honestly think that it was Troy Baker's voice that just irritated me. It just reminded me of the whole Metal Gear Solid, presentation. I wasn't feeling that. But I wanted to see gameplay, and then that was the only thing I was really looking forward to, and anything else was, a nice touch. But a shorter trailer that they showed, not much in gameplay. So it's just like, oh man, come on, like, you're gonna have to do better than that. The second thing I wanted to talk about is what's that fucking game called? Shikiro? Am I saying that right? From Software's like latest game. So they've been on and on with this particular trope of their games. It was always the same type of dark fantasy, difficult gameplay, stuff like that. And it's not a problem with that per se. I think it's a problem with the gaming media. How they look at From Software as like the be all end all of, if you play their games, you're just the bee's knees of a gamer. You're the pinnacle of a gamer. So it's just like, okay. I don't know. I don't. The way I look at it, I wasn't really excited about it in the first place. I'm more of a what's that game called again? I want to say Days Gone, the other ninja game that Sony's producing. Oh, why am I'm drawing a blank. Sucker Punch game. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank here. I don't know. You know what I mean. Anyway, I'm looking at the gameplay. It's very much, you know, a From Software game for sure. Which is, you know, I guess they tweaked the gameplay a little bit more, so it's basically parrying back and forth. And okay, so I'm looking at that. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like I feel like it's a been there, done that type vibe, honestly. Um, and I'm not really into that, to be honest with you. I mean, it is. It's a been there, done that type, you know, situation. Um, with that being said, this wasn't really. I mean, I guess. I mean, at least they show gameplay. Um, so I really can't say. I really can't say too much. That's what it is. Ghost of Tsushima. That's the game that I'm looking for. But it feels like the From Software games are the same all the time. It's the same shit all the time. They always do this whole difficult thing. They tweak the AI so it can be like cheap when you get hot. I mean, it's in a harder difficulty. The slow, methodical gameplay. I don't know. I feel like it's been done to death. They need to do something new. Maybe I was looking for like an Armored Core and that type of, you know, that type of gameplay. But they already have like a, you know, a game that's similar to that From Software did make. It's like, you know, or you're almost mechanized. So I was like, whatever. They showed Devil May Cry, and a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's 4K and 60 frames a second or whatever the fuck the stats are." And I'm like, it's not that many enemies on the game. You're in still tightly controlled environments and stuff like that. I don't know. When I saw it, I guess it's a return to form from that particular game in terms of Devil May Cry. It's like Devil May Cry 3, sort of. But I don't know. I feel like the innovation of a lot of Japanese titles are just, they're not there. They're not there. I don't know where, maybe they're doing that fucking, the slot machine games and they think that's what it is. Which brings me to the next game that I saw. I mean, I'm not into this particular game anyway. But they showed the Dead or Alive. And I'm like rolling my eyes the whole fucking time. And the reason why I'm rolling my eyes is because they have compromised their vision of Dead or Alive so hardcore, like so hardcore. The girls usually are scantily clad. They usually have bra and panties on and stuff like that. Now, characters that are normally like not clothed like that, they are like super clothed. And I just feel like this social justice warrior bullshit is out of control. It permeated even into Japanese culture, which they're used to shit like that anyway. So I'm like, okay, they're we doing this shit again. So I don't know. I wasn't feeling that game. I wasn't feeling the game. I wasn't feeling that turn, that shift in style. So I wasn't happy about that. I think the most innovative game that was at TGS is literally fucking Death Stranding. So even though they didn't even show gameplay, it still was at least the most innovative. And I come from like 90s, 80s gaming. And it's very disheartening to see the fall of that. It's bad. It's bad that they're not really innovating. They're doing bare minimum shit. Capcom is kind of stepping their game up because they were always kind of like Eastern. I mean, not West. They were always Western-esque. You know what I mean? You know, they always had that appeal to Westerners. And I'm just... Resident Evil 2 looks really, really good. And lastly, they showed Days Gone. And I already think that game's going to be like a sleeper hit. I just wish that it looked as good as I know it's going to play. It doesn't look great in terms of, not graphics, but in terms of gameplay. You have to experience that game, in my professional opinion, for what I'm looking at. There's a lot of things that people are not taking into account for. It's not just zombies. These zombies, you know what I mean? It's not just enemies that you just shoot. You know, and they're Walking Dead and they have more hazards or whatever the case is. They have actual like life cycles. fucking cough. I'm like tore up from the damn cold. But it's like actual life cycles. It's actual life cycles. So, you know, you gotta look at all this shit. You gotta look at all this shit. I really think that that game's gonna be a sleeper hit. Definitely, if you guys get a chance, you know, look into this game. Look at all the innovations and stuff like that. But anyway, that's all from me. Let me know in the comments what you liked about the video, what you disliked about the video. And if you did like it, a sub would be greatly appreciated. Auf Wiedersehen.